about the load today. Second, we talk about the strong backside drive. All right, meaning not just your bottom half, but your top half as well. Okay. And third, release through the ball. All right. So those three components, just to keep it simple, is the load and the strong backside drive and the release through the ball. Okay. So if you want to come on up over here, we talk a little bit about, and Calvin is actually going to be my helper a little bit once we get to the release. Okay. So let's just first talk a little bit about the load. Okay. Our hitters have a whole bunch. They come in, they have varying stances.
Doesn't it like
and we're okay with that.
zoom in and
Number
out?
one thing we want to see in the load, okay? We want to make sure that one, they keep the pressure between their knees. Okay? And you can see how I set up somewhat inverted. Now we learned this here after our staff has been together for a long time. As I said, I've been there for 20 years. Coach Hutch's been there obviously for a long time as leader of our program. And Jen Hurst has been in two separate occasions. She's been with us for just about a dozen years. And so we are constantly trying to learn and trying to change and trying to improve how we're communicating to be effective communicators with our kids. And the one thing we learned this year, our kids taught us, we were talking to them about keeping the pressure in their stance, keeping the pressure between their knees. They taught us something. Because I asked them, I said, how do you feel when we put you on the go-to ball, you have the pressure between your knees? More than half of them said, it resonates better when I think about keeping the pressures between on the inside part of my knees. Okay? So when I got in their stance, and where I talk about keeping the pressure between my knees, they think about keeping the pressure inside their two big toes. Okay? So I offer that because one, it's amazing how much feedback, if you ask your athletes what they feel and what they understand, the information that they give back to them. And what might resonate with me, I understand, may not resonate with them. So that information is really vital to us. So not only do we say keep the pressure between your knees, keep the pressure on the inside, in your big, in between your big front toes. Okay? So many of them, they may have their hands in different positions. We're okay with that. Okay? As long as once they get to what we refer to as our attack position, we allow them to get up on their toe as early as they want. In our minds, okay, when they go into their load is separation up on your toe. Okay? Some of your hitters may not even take a stride. They may be wide, just go up on your toe. But as you see what occurs, when I go up on my toe, I have a little bit of a separation in my hands. And I'm in this good attack position. And this is my load. Now, you may have a couple hitters, and I know we have a couple of hitters that they're trying to get the concept of separation down. And if you look at some of your hitters, and how they are wired biomechanically,
I need to take pictures.
they do one thing in their throwing mechanics, they do the same thing in their hitting mechanics. Does that make sense? Okay? That's how they're biomechanically wired. Okay? So when I hear talking about low regardless, and I explain to them, when you go to throw the ball for the shortstop, I feel the ball, I gather, I get ready to throw. I'm getting in that same low position as I would when I'm going to hit. Okay? So I'm up on my toe, and I bring the ball back. My hands are back. I would never throw from my chest position. I would never move the ball to first base. It's the same idea when you have a bat in our hands. Okay? Your bat always stays here and goes straight to the ball. All right? You just decrease their hitting position. This is their load. That's the first component that we talked about. Now, the other thing when you're watching them get to that load position, watch their head. Okay? Their head needs to stay in the center of their body. So many problems occur when they get to this low position toe touch and their head is forward. When your head is forward, no longer is the pressure between my knees now. The pressure is starting to move outside my front knee. Okay? When that happens, we're starting to use our backside drive. Okay? So that's one thing to really pay attention to. The other thing in their load to pay attention to is if they step and land flat-footed. There's two parts to that. Toe touch and heel plant. Okay, the load, we just want to be at toe touch. If we're already at heel plant, again, my head's starting to come forward and I'm starting to engage my back elbow a little too early. Alright, my weight ends up outside of my front. Yes. Right. Now, what's going to happen is when they go to toe touch, all right, you and I might be different hitters in the fact of our timing. I may want to get, I might be more comfortable getting to toe touch earlier, but staying, you are toe touch heel kiss. Okay, so it could be as quick as that. Okay, that's why I recommend, we went with what's called a coach's eye. We want resources to
So only way to keep two little girls from I really liked her niece, Tutu. I couldn't focus. She's awesome. I'm so dying.
Slow that down. And so you may be able to, your hitters, put them on coach's eye, slow that down, and actually freeze it, and see that many of them are probably at toe touch and then they go to heel. Okay? As long as they are not stepping in on the heel.
We got this, Lisa. Let us handle it. Let us handle
As I
it.
said, you may feel comfortable going,
Hey, Lisa.
I may feel comfortable on my toes, going a little like staying on my toes. Okay?
Where's the camera right
That's the
there?
next one
Yeah.
to go into, okay? Because the next one
Oh, it's gonna block her out.
is we're going to talk about the heel plate. Now I'll take you, as I said, I'll take you
Camera's on the side.
and we'll go back through this drills that we
You're not gonna be able to hear what she's
shoulders. Some of them break down low, some of them break down
I didn't even hear her.
backside drop, and then finally we'll do this. Did that answer your question? Okay. All right. So now, once we're in our load position, okay, in this separation. Now, the one thing we want to really talk about is the debate. People talk a lot about front arm versus back arm. Okay, we're proponents at Michigan who teach our kids about the backside arm. Okay, so you probably have figured out through that we are a backside. We're a backside. Swing, okay? We feel that this front arm is really to help just stabilize. Now I'll tell you why. Because when you have your hitter focused on their front arm, they become pull hitters. Okay? They're pulling from the front side as opposed to driving from the back side. Okay? And when they pull from the front side, it typically means that they're really rigid with their front arm. Right? And when we want our hitters
Because that's all they
to
talk about.
stay on the
They don't
inside
talk about
path
both of
to
them.
the ball, those kids that are really front side strong, are rigid, end up knocking out this front side. Okay? And on top of that, not pull,
I need to get a picture of
and they
where
pull
you
away
can
from
see
the
who
zone.
the husher
All right? So that's a little bit of background why,
You can see the color.
I'll tell you now why the backside.
is. This is a good picture. She's
Next
going
thing
to run in
that's
this.
going to occur is with
There
this
you go.
backside drive, you're going to have to engage this back elbow. Alright, when you engage this back elbow, it creates this angle. Okay? It creates this back angle so that your hitters will can get on the plane.
I saw him in the snap.
Does that make sense? So, this elbow engage, we're at toe touch, elbow engages. Now we're going to heel plant. Okay? Elbow engages, heel plant, and now it starts this backside drop. Alright? Hitters, some of the hitters that we have right now, they're a little out of sync. So what that means is a lot of times they'll start going before engaging their back elbow. If they start going before they engage their back elbow,
These people feel like
okay,
they can all just
that means that their hips are starting to go, my hands are lagging behind.
He's in the very back
A
of
couple
the
of things occur here.
Here comes Cody.
One, changes the angle of your barrel. Two, instead of hitting the back of the ball, they end up, their hips slide, they end up hitting, they slice the ball on the inside of the portion. So you see a lot of those, this is the foul line, you see a lot of those balls tail off, you get the first base slap. Okay? Any questions with that? Alright? So, we are engaging our back elbow here. And at the same time, the heel plant come down and engage our back elbow. Remembering that this front side is nice and relaxed. This front side is nice and relaxed. It's contact. Exactly. Exactly. And I don't have it with me. Okay? That encourages the inside path. Okay? We don't tell our kids locked. Okay? We say keeping the pressure between your knees. And some of our best hitters are just strong on the front side without it being locked. Sometimes when we lock out this front. Okay, but before we get there, because I want to talk a little bit, about just the path of your hands. Think about when you have a hammer and you're hitting the nail. Okay, so you have a board that is perpendicular to you and you're hitting the nail. Okay, kind of goes along with what you're seeing right here. You don't hit the hammer like this. Okay, actually it's hard. I encourage you to put a hammer or a mallet, mostly a hammer, in your hitter's hands, your back hand. Have nails up, hit the head of the nail. You'll see how much they engage their back elbow. It creates that angle, which creates that back leg. Okay? And you need that back leg to get on the plane of the pitch as early as possible. Okay? Any questions about the back leg and getting on the plane of the pitch? It's actually in sync here. Okay, so I'm at toe touch, a heel plant, it's in sync with this back hip. Okay? But if my back hip starts going before I engage my elbow, that's when you're going to slice the inside of the ball, not hit the back of the ball. You're going to hit the inside portion. Gotcha. You, for the most part, you want to keep it off the rib cage. Okay? Somewhat in front. Okay? It's not. If you get to this point, all of a sudden my hands have come outside the inside path. The ball. Okay? Correct. We're going to get to palm up, palm down. Now, one thing that as you get into backside drive, you engage this back elbow. We all may have hitters like this that we call gate hitters. Kids that get to toe touch, okay? And instead of continuing to ride into that front side, they just rotate. Okay? Those gate hitters. Alright? And one thing that occurs with gate hitters is you'll notice that their back angle changes. Okay? If they continue at toe touch, they continue, we're going to flip thing, if they continue to drive and ride into that front side, then the angle that they create is much better. Right? And they're going to fall flat. If I gate swing, okay, changes the angle of my barrel. My back angle. That makes sense? We have a couple of, we'll get to it, but we have a couple of tees, or a drill with a couple of tees called the double tee drill. And we have a few hitters, one in particular, that really strikes the ball well. She just hits it too often. Okay, balls that can get out of the park just get to 190 because she just misses it. So we put her on the double tee. Okay? Put her on that double tee. And I put her on the coach's arm. Okay? You like to have the back one a tiny bit above the front one. You don't have to adjust this. You may start it further back, further apart, just to begin until they get the idea of toe touch, ride into the front side, contact. Okay? We put a little ball on the back one, a real ball on the front one. Because if I'm the coach and I'm standing here and in this pit, I don't want that ball flying. Okay. But this has really changed her back angle and helped her correct her back angle. And one thing that we can see with this hitter, she would get here, she would just open. So here I am. I would just tip the ball. As opposed to when she wasn't correctly ride, it's loose. Okay, she had something to fall flat. Alright? Understanding, kind of summarizing it, the backside drive, okay? Back elbow, engages, encourages, good back angle, back leg, get through the ball, okay? This all happens at field goal. Alright? Here, engages back elbow, field goal. Okay. Release, our third component, is release through the ball. Some of you may call it snapping your wrist through the ball. Okay? Yes, your hitters, we learned another thing this fall. A few of our hitters, we asked them, when do you release the barrel? And some of them say, after I contact the ball. Okay? Some of them have varying responses. Okay? What we want them to understand is that you release the barrel through the ball. At contact with the ball. Basically, you're at some point, you're at palm up, palm down. Okay? You get to contact, and now this last wrist snap, release through the ball into extension. Okay? If we do not release, this is what happens. Okay, we end up pulling off the ball. Alright, we don't have that extra wrist snap. Okay, through the pitch. It's an inside pitch. You're obviously going to release later. Okay? It's an outside pitch. Release earlier. It doesn't make sometimes it doesn't make sense to them because, like, well, coach, I'm waiting for the ball to be deep in the zone, so I should be releasing later on the outside pitch. It's not true. Okay? Through your swing, you're being more hard into our room. So we may go through a drill, and I'm explaining one component to one of my athletes. I let her go ahead and I let her take 3 to 5 cuts. 3 to 5 cuts. And then I say, okay, explain to me our discussion. What did we just talk about? Because it's really interesting what they have to say back. Sometimes they're spot on. Sometimes you understand. They can understand something they said. And you find out.
She's not checking her
But I
phone, is
let them
she?
get
Ladies over there
I
too.
want them to be somewhat distracted because
I guess we can't complain about grading though, because we're using their space.
they
But
leave my station
No,
or
this is our space actually.
practice.
yeah, but we asked them if we could use their cages. So
He said if we needed to pull that window, we could too.
yeah,
I'll let them take 3 to 5 cuts.
it's just like annoying to me. Like, who knows good and wrong?
She's been
Stop. I bring him back over
Yeah.
and I say, Harry, what have we done? What did we just talk about? Can you listen to what they have to say? And then you realize, wait, they did a really good job of explaining it to them, or they have no idea what I'm saying. And it really is a learning experience for us as well. Because sometimes I'm an effective communicator, and sometimes I'm not. And that's just how it goes. So those are the 3 components. We build a bit. Now, just to take you through some of our drills. and then you can eyeball them. You can see if they're in proper attack position. There may be a few of your hitters, as we have done. Now this is the way you're hitting. Okay? One drawback is if your hitter's head changes levels, and it shouldn't so much, okay? It may be 1/4 of an inch, but that's the one thing you just need to be aware of. Eyeball it, and maybe, again, through this little app, this $4.99 app, you draw lines and show her right away where her head is, or her head is in good position, where that head is. Okay? That's the attack position drill. Okay? When you do, the one thing is when you do get to that attack position drill, you're here, you want to make sure that they get to attack position, your toe touch. And if they end up landing, all right, on their heel, they
Brady took care of that
bypass
one.
one major portion. Okay, you want to make sure that they get this to toe touch. Low ball. We do a single and a double low ball. This is where we do single ball serving. Again, you can do this off the tee.
All these school coaches paid $4 to go. Oh, look at him. Yeah, he's asleep in the corner. I got it on video.
Your front side very well. Okay, just use the single back side, so then they can learn to drive and ride into the front side.
Huh?
Okay, and you might have to have a surface that isn't so slippery. Okay, or a hitter who is just really has bad posture, whose posture is not positive, but she has negative posture. Okay, this will really encourage her to drive forward, strong backside drive. When we use a double
Thanks.
to help keep the pressure between your knees. Okay? The other thing this really does help with is it really helps with balance. Okay? To be an effective hitter, you have to maintain good balance. If that doesn't occur, then you severely decrease your opportunity for success at the plate. Okay? So that's the one thing it does. It really helps you create and maintain good balance. Okay? Okay, dry cuts. You can go ahead. If you have some hitters, like you said, that go ahead and step into the pitch or step parallel pitch, they can do that as well. Same thing, you can occur off of the balance curve. It really does encourage keep the pressure between your knees. Dry cuts and then tee cuts. I will say one thing we never do is we never hit live out any of these items. The balance board or the bow seat, okay? There's just, too great of a risk for the ball to hit this, pitch to hit this. I do recommend just stationary ball for some of those. The high-low tee. I explained that earlier. The high-low tee, I think we went over that. The better that they get, the closer you can move the tees together. Now there is a point where the tees can be too close together. But we don't want to encourage a short swing. Okay? The front part of your swing is going to be short, long. But we want to make sure we encourage good bat angle, good ride into our front sides, and getting the ball flat. Okay? So, I don't know the exact inch or width where it no longer is a effective drill, but I would definitely say something like this, anything 12 inches and shorter is definitely too short. You'll really change their swing. They'll end up pulling off, they'll end up rolling your wrist over as opposed to getting engaged in this back elbow and getting the barrel on the plane of the pitch. Okay? Any questions about this again? Okay. Let's see. Ball between our knees. Okay. Again, we're into, as I said, now we're into backside drive. Drills for backside drive. Major league teams actually use this. See, it's pretty simple. Okay? But all we want to do is put the ball between our knees. Okay? And really just encourage, okay, my inverted knees and the pressure between my knees. Okay? So we want to encourage this. Have them go ahead and take cuts. Okay? Take cuts. If for some reason the weight gets outside their front knee, the ball drops. It's pretty simple. Okay? Pretty simple. Delayed toe drill. Oh, excuse me. The one arm. Let me go back up to number 4. The one arm swings. Do any of you coaches utilize one arms? Okay, I know it's pretty popular. And I guess if we
Yeah.
really good, get a drill named after you. This is named after one of our former players at Michigan. She won our national championship team center fielder. And she was actually a slapper and a hitter. Her very first, she came to us mostly as a slapper. Her very first at bat in college was a home run over the left center field fence. Okay, so she did make some good strides. And see, Calvin has a little bit of that go-yard hitter in him. Okay. What we're going to do is we're going to just isolate Calvin from the waist up. And this is really going to encourage independent hands. Okay. He's going to hit the ball with his hands as opposed to with his chest and shoulders. Okay. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to throw the ball at his front shoulder. He's going to release the barrel through the ball. He should hit the ball up the middle left. Okay? Now, this could be a little intimidating for some of your hitters to start thinking that their coach is throwing right at them. Okay? Sure. That's fine. Okay? Good. Now, Calvin, he went ahead and completed the swing through extension and follow through. We're just going to get to extension, so if you can just go ahead to extend to center field. This usually takes about 10 of our hitters. Let's do this right away. Okay? There you go. I usually isolate and toss the ball above their waist. Okay? Because they're not using their bottom half. They are just releasing the barrel, which is our third component, releasing the barrel through the wrist. Okay? One more. Okay. Now, thanks, Calvin. There's another variety to this. You can do it from the front toss. We call it the handspring. And
What's
it's
that?
the same
Something
idea.
on my back?
If
there a
you're
problem
front
with
tossing me,
I think she is.
just relax my legs. That's all I'm doing. Releasing through the ball. And you'll see that sometimes momentum carries them over here. It's okay as long as they don't start getting too far. Really the whole idea is to isolate your hands, work independently from your chest and your shoulders. Okay? You just do that off the front toss.
I was really I cut myself in it just one time.
Yeah.
Nothing was going on. I was just
Actually,
like,
it's the question about who's, I
I was like looking
don't know
over it.
necessarily what
I
happens in
didn't
their
realize
practice
what it
room.
was.
I will say that
When I
they
looked
are
down and I was like, oops.
very productive hitters. I actually think that they do not encourage the release as much. Okay? They really focus on the bottom half, and they get to,
Oh, yeah.
we picked this drill up from Patrick Murphy about 10 years ago. He calls it holds. And I think they do a lot of holds where you
The jacket's in the lobby.
hold
I think I
contact.
or maybe it's in the office. I don't know.
Elbows and
Look at
contact.
it.